You all excited? I'm excited. We're gonna play some Oxygen Not Included. I love this game. It is extremely addictive. I've been messing around with it. I've been playing with it for about a week now. And yeah, it is addictive. So basically, the premise of the story is you wake up, you're in the middle of the middle of a mountain, middle of the earth, who knows? You're in the middle of somewhere. You basically just got to survive. There's tech you can research. There's building stuff you already know how to do. It's a pretty neat little concept. We're going to go ahead and hit new game. Going to start doing everything. It's going to give us 3 people to basically start with, and we can select who we want to. I'm going to hit random a bunch of times. Mainly what I'm looking for is I want this decor thing to be low. So, -15 is pretty decent. The smallest I've ever seen it is -35. I have heard that you can find like a -40, but I've never seen one. So we're just going to hit random a couple times. -20. -25. All right, now they each have a positive trait, as well as they have attributes that go differently. They do level up, and they level up pretty decent, so I'm not really worried about the attributes when it comes to starting. The decor expected. The decor expectation. The decor is what I'm worried about. This right here is their negative trait. There's a couple of negative traits that you don't really want. Or at least I don't know how to really manage them if they have a certain, if they have those traits. Like biohazard, your person gets really sick all the time. This guy is scared to death of cooking, so he's not going to make any food for you. This is just a guy that's scared, or a girl that's scared to death, period. Scaredy cat's pretty, I mean, that's very rarely do you actually have to fight anything. There are little insects and stuff every once in a while you make mad. Not being able to cook, well, there's 2 other people, they can cook. So you're good, and we're going to hit random a couple more times. See if we can find somebody that has something a little bit better. Oh, it was a -20. I completely overlooked it. Stop clicking so fast. See if we can get like a -30. Yeah, there you go right there. The -30, this person's a narcoleptic. He will fall asleep anywhere and everywhere. Or is that a girl? That's a girl. May. So she'll fall asleep anytime, anywhere. Doesn't really matter. Another thing is when they get really stressed out, there's going to be a response. This person, they like to destroy stuff. And then the other 2 people, they throw up when they get stressed. Really weird. But that's what they do. So we're going to name one of these people something. Let's change Ellie to Sophie. What should we name our colony? Well, let's see. The Rustic Moon Base. Sure, why not? That's great. Let's go ahead and start our game. Alright, so real quick. Basically, we just woke up. Your crew has awoken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got there. Alright, so I zoom out. Let's go ahead and pause the game. If I zoom out, we've got our area right here that's got oxygen. We've got these little green blocks called oxalite. They actually produce oxygen, though as they produce oxygen, their weight, which this block that I'm hovering over is 194 kilograms, that decreases. We got this area right here that's oxygen also. This area right here that's oxygen also. We got a vacuum over here, some fresh water and oxygen. Over here is a whole bunch of carbon dioxide. So we can look around, but as you can see, there is a fog of war. Right off the bat, I can tell from the coloration. This is going to be a cold biome. So that's actually kind of nice to have an ice biome right beneath of us. Various things on our colony will actually create heat. Too much heat, your plants don't grow. Too much heat, things start breaking down. But it's pretty in-depth. We have some copper here. Some algae. Algae we can use to make more oxygen. And a bunch of dirt, sandstone, etc. that we can use as regular building products. Believe it or not, the dirt, that's food. Yep, our people eat dirt. Gotta love the game. So we got May, Nails, and Sophie. And let's go ahead and tell them to start digging some stuff. So, I don't really want to go over here right now because of the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide does drop. So when I dig down here a little bit, that's when I'll open that up and hopefully all the carbon dioxide will drop down. Let's go ahead and start going this way. And let's speed this up. Game does take you a little bit for you to actually get settled. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to start digging. And as you can see, I'm starting to explore more. We have another ice biome. And then this right here lets us know this is a hot biome. So it's kind of weird that we got an ice biome here, an ice biome here, and like a volcano biome here. I've never found any magma. But as you can see from the temperatures, 96 degrees Fahrenheit. Whereas up here is negative 34 degrees Fahrenheit. I am using Fahrenheit instead of Celsius. And it is because I'm US bound. Looks like we got some ice over here. So we're basically surrounded by ice, which is actually a pretty decent thing. Once we find a geyser, a steam geyser, which would probably might be inside this biome here. Once we find a steam geyser, that's really going to help us get a solid supply of fresh water. And having the ice biomes will be a great way to cool it down. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start digging this out. I want to dig some down here as well as I want to dig up a little bit. And I'll bring you right back. Alright, so we've got a good little bit of amount dug out. As you can see, I built a ladder. Got different levels. I'm gonna probably go up to another level here and then I'll cap it. Then we'll enclose the entire thing and that will be our main base. I will probably have like a secondary area that we're gonna keep for storage. Beneath here, I'm gonna have our water system because we need fresh water as well as polluted water. We're gonna go ahead and it's already cycle 2, which is basically like day. So it's already cycle 2. Getting ready to turn to night, so they're going to go to sleep yet. As you can see from some of the polluted water that's on the ground, I don't have a bathroom set up yet. We need to go ahead and start getting some of that stuff done. So let's go ahead and start building some cots for them to sleep on. As well as, let's go ahead and get them an outhouse so they can go to the bathroom. And it's nighttime, so at least now they can sleep. As you can see the movement of the gas, which in this case is oxygen. There's some carbon dioxide mixed in here, so as you can see, it moves around. And that's just, you know, what they're releasing as they breathe. So they're going to continue going. Our food, we have about 20 rations. So that's not much, so we need to get our food system going. So we have here a little micro musher. And that will actually let us make food. It is, however, something that needs electricity. So we need to go ahead and get our power system online. So we have these little generators that are basically, let's be honest, they are basically hamster wheels. So that's how we're gonna get food, energy, is by our people running on hamster wheels. Pretty unique. So we're gonna make a couple batteries, and then let's go ahead while we have the copper. Let's go ahead and start making our research station, which also needs electricity. Let's tell them to go ahead and start making mush bars, which needs dirt and water. Got plenty of dirt, but we don't have access to our water yet. So they're going to go ahead and just keep going. What I should probably do is make it so that... Alright. Alright, so basically what I'm doing is I'm just making it so that if there is any vomit or any polluted water, it won't go into our freshwater area. Ideally. If it does, it doesn't mix. It will just, it goes to the bottom. Alright, well, we got a duplicant. Our new people are called duplicants. So we're going to use this little DNA printer, and we're going to select somebody. So once again, I'm kind of going to look mainly at the decor. We got a -20 here, but yeah, he's a biohazard. We got a -5, but yeah, that's another narcoleptic. So I don't really want any of these people. We're just going to go ahead and reject it all. Go ahead and start a research. Go ahead and start getting our farm online. Let's tell them to go ahead and start research. So, we'll get a new duplicant every 3 days. I mean, it does tell us how many seconds of game time, not real life time, it takes. We have 1,600 seconds before the next one at 3 times speed. It's not always a great bet to just go ahead and just hit accept every single one. I mean, in one of the games I had everything pretty well managed, pretty well taken care of, and I only really needed 10 duplicants. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them start digging the rest of this out. We really don't need to build anything right now. We got our food going. We got a place for them to sleep. We got a research station. I don't really need the other one yet because that's for more advanced stuff, and I don't really need that right now. We do have a lot of trash all over the place. So we should get some of these storage bins going so that they can store their stuff. But I'm just going to leave it for right this second. It's not hurting anything. Alright, so we'll be right back. Alright, so we're currently getting ready to end cycle 6. We do have another duplicant that we can get. Let's look to see if there's anything special. Okay, so we got 2 -15s. That's nice. One's a yokel, which means they can't do research. And the other one's a mouth breather, which means they use basically double the oxygen. We really don't want him. We're gonna make Harold our next contestant on the Dig for Your Life. So as you can see, we've got a good amount of carbon dioxide going. We still haven't opened this area up here or here. And the amount of oxygen that's in the air is actually getting pretty low. So we need to get some oxygen generation going. What we can do is we can make one of these guys right there. It does need power. So once that's built, it will start making oxygen. It will use algae. And that should solve some of our issues for the time being. So I've got the overall design of the base done. As you can see, we've got our center area here, a little larger than the sides, but we have multiple levels. We've got an area that's opened up here. This will be our hydrogen trap. I'll explain that a little later in the game. And then we got our area down here, which this is where I'm going to do all of our water and our cooling for our base down here. As you can see, we've gotten a little bit more exposed. We've got we've got a slime biome up here. And if you look really in the corner, we have a geyser. Kind of hard to see, it's covered with water. We do have one right there. There you go, geyser. So that's excellent. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to dig that out. I'm going to try to make it kind of go down here, make the water run down, because it's an unlimited supply of water. It just goes really slow. Once it gets to this area, it's going to get into this ice biome. That water is going to be super, super hot. So we're going to see if we can make it stay in this ice biome, come down here, and basically collect somewhere down here. That entire little travel, that should help cool it down. So once it's cooled down, then we can use it for the rest of our stuff. We can use it as the rest of plumbing, for our bathrooms, our showers. A bunch of different types of machinery takes fresh water. So that should be good. As you can see, our little oxygen deionizer is going, or algae deionizer is creating oxygen. And as you can see here, we're about 1,400 grams. Whereas if we go on the other side of the base, we're at 100 less than. So it will take a while for it to build and pressurize the rest of the base, but it is moving on. That's kind of nice. The water that was over here actually broke through because it can erode blocks. So unless it's 3 blocks thick, it can actually break through. So this corner right here was only 2 blocks thick, and it broke through and built all down here. So not a big deal. Just makes it a little bit harder to get us our water supply. I mean, ultimately, I'm going to have a ladder going down and collection tanks down here, so I'm not really that worried about it. We have researched a whole bunch of stuff. In fact, we've already finished one of our things. So we've done power generation, liquid piping, as well as farming. We're going to go ahead and do gas piping. There we go. And as you can see, people are having to wake up because there's not enough oxygen around here. So it's going to take a little bit for it to filter through. If you have any... one of the reasons why I'm using this base was actually a suggestion. Being that it is an opening right here, it doesn't block airflow. It allows a lot more airflow to get through the base. So there, at first, the first game I didn't last very long. I basically made a whole bunch of small rooms. Each room, I used the manual airlock. I had some trouble keeping it pressurized. Had some trouble because it would build up carbon dioxide, as well as it also started building up polluted oxygen. I had a little trouble with that. With this open design, what I generally have trouble with is under pressurization or over pressurization, as in there's so much polluted oxygen that I can't make fresh oxygen. Now the polluted oxygen, they can still breathe it, makes them a little sick, so it's not the best, but it won't kill them. So we're going to continue digging this out, and we're currently on cycle 8. I think that's going to be the end of this first episode. Kind of a little teaser of what's to come. So I'm going to continue digging all this out. I'm going to start building our water trap down here. Once that's finished, then we'll start, I guess I'm going to have to go down here and just start building kind of a stairway up. And then bring it back up this way. I'm going to have to make sure that it's several blocks thick so that the water can travel down it. And that should help us. Another thing I could do is basically just build a trap here. Put a pump in there. And then pump the water all the way down here. That would be a lot quicker, a lot easier. But it's not going to cool down the water. And then once the water gets in here, yes, it will cool down, but it's going to take forever. Whereas if I let it trickle down through this biome, it should cool it down. Now, at the same time as it may freeze it, because a lot of this stuff is frozen ice, frozen water, or, yeah, of course, frozen ice or snow, or even polluted water. There you go, polluted ice. So we do have to worry about that melting as well as everything else. So I think I'm going to try to make, just basically enclose this entire area. So that's what ultimately the plan is, but that's not going to be done anytime soon. But it's what we can work on, or work towards. All right, until next time, have fun.